We're working on the spreadsheet for Chapter 4, Sections B and C, and we're going to start out just by putting some numbers in here at the top, and you can put in any numbers you want. I'm going to start out with $1,000 in principal. I'm going to put in 12 because I'm going to compound monthly. I am going to go with 4% and $150 a month payment. And again, you can put any numbers you want here at the top. Okay, we're going to start on period 1, which in this case is month 1, since we're monthly. My principal, my starting balance, is just whatever my principal was up above. So I do equals and click on cell D2. That brings my principal amount down. My interest is going to be the interest I earn on the money I had. So I start out with equals. I'm going to take however much money I had in there, that's still C8. I'm going to multiply that by my interest rate. And this interest rate, D4, I don't want to change throughout the whole spreadsheet, so I'm going to lock it by putting dollar signs around it. You can either hit F4 on a PC or Command T on a Mac. That'll put a dollar sign before the D and another one before the 4, or you can hand type those dollar signs in, but you need that to lock the interest rate. Okay, now this gives us a whole year's worth of interest, and I don't get that in 1 month. I need to divide by 12, so I'm going to divide by and click on the 12 up here. And again, since I'm doing monthly, the whole spreadsheet, I don't want that to change. So I'm going to type F4 or Command T, and that'll lock that interest rate. Then I hit enter and make sure that's a reasonable amount of interest, $3.33 for a month. That kind of makes sense. Payment is how much money I'm going to pay in each month. And so I click on this up here. It's in D5. And again, that's not going to change the whole spreadsheet, so I'm going to lock that one. All right, I'm ready for the total at the end of the first month, and my total is equal to the principal that I started with, plus the interest that I earned, plus the payment that I made. And I hit enter, and that tells me my total so far. Now I'm ready to go on to month 2. Okay, we'll put in a 2 for period 2. Okay, now my new principal, my new starting amount, is not that $1,000, it's going to be this total amount over here that I had at the end of last month. So I'll click on that. And at this point, all my formulas should be good to go, ready to drag. I'm going to go ahead and highlight these 3 squares right here. Go to the bottom right corner until I get the skinny plus sign. That means it's ready to drag, and then just hold my mouse down and drag down 1 line. And that'll give me my new interest, payment, and total for that month. And now I've got everything in so I can drag the whole month. So I'm going to highlight all the cells in the month. And I'm going to drag down to the bottom of the spreadsheet. So drag on down. Till I get to the very bottom. It's actually 48 lines long because it's a 48-month spreadsheet for this one. And then click outside of here. And so this right now is my total at the end of my 48 months. If I started with $1,000 and put in $150 every month. This column right here, at the top, you may not remember, it said interest. This is the amount I earned in interest each month. So if I wanted to figure out the total amount of interest for my spreadsheet, I could just add up all those numbers above it. Now the shortcut in Excel to add is to go way out over on the right, and it's off of the screen, sorry, to the auto sum. Click on auto sum. It's a giant Greek sigma, and it will guess, do you want to add up these numbers from D8 to D55? Those are my interest numbers, and that's what I want, so I hit enter. Down at the bottom, just to check and see if I got it right, I use Excel's FV function. I say, well, what is the future value equals FV? Now for my rate, I need to scroll back up to the top here. Sorry, I clicked on some things. For my rate, Excel likes the percent divided by the number of compounding. So it wants D4 over D3. Then I hit a comma. Next it wants the number of periods. And if you recall, there were 48 lines in the spreadsheet, 48 periods. Then it wants the payment, and just so things look nice and pretty, I'm going to put negative. That's because I had to pay the money out of my pocket. I lost that money. And it wants the principal value, and again, I want to put that negative because I had to pay that money out of my pocket. We're going to skip type, so I'm going to close my parentheses, hit enter, and if all is well, these two numbers match up. That means I did it right. Now, if I wanted to, I could go back up to the top. I could start changing things around. What if I only put $100 a month in? What if I didn't start with anything? Do all sorts of different things. And if I go down to the bottom to check it's still working, yep, these two numbers are still equal. So I'm ready to save it, and then it's ready to submit.